Hello, students. I hope you all are doing well. Today, we'll start up with the second lesson in history, and the heading of the lesson says The Growth of Nationalism, the Age of Revolutions. Now we come to the first part of the heading, The Growth of Nationalism. Here we come to a word, nationalism, so let's study what does it mean. Nationalism is a strong feeling of love and loyalty which people have for their own country. It arises when people share feelings and experiences. It includes a common language, culture, religion, social order, historical tradition, etc. Now, patriotism is also a part of nationalism. Hence, patriotism is a feeling of national pride, a feeling of love and devotion for one's own country. Nationalism is also a belief that people of same nation, means people of a common culture and history, they should live in their own independent country. Now we come to rise of nationalism. As we know that nationalism is a feeling. Hence the question arises, how did the feeling of nationalism arose? In the previous lesson we studied about Industrial Revolution, which began in England, and it led to rise of imperialism. Hence, imperialism is a practice of establishing a country's rule and dominance over the economic and political life of the people of another country. After the Industrial Revolution in Europe, the leading industrialized countries as England, Portugal, Spain, Holland, etc., they established colonies in Asia and Africa. And when they established colonies, they never allowed the subjugated countries to grow, which led to bitterness and revolts. Hence, the first clear expression of nationalism came up with American Revolution in 1776 and French Revolution in 1789. Now we come to the American Revolution 1776 to 1783. The American War of Independence or the American Revolution was the first organized political struggle to overthrow foreign rule and establish a sovereign democratic state, that is, the United States of America. Now, after the discovery of America by Columbus in 1492 CE, many European countries began to establish their colonies. England had a group of 13 colonies along the eastern coast of America. France, Holland, and Spain also established their colonies in North America. Now we'll see the causes of the American Revolution. The first one, the Americans were not allowed to start any industry. They were not allowed to trade with any country except England. They did not have the same rights as the English enjoyed in England. The Americans did not have any representation in the British Parliament. The second one, payment of more taxes. They had to pay more taxes than the English paid in England. The third one, inspiration by European philosophers. The English settlers in America were inspired by European philosophers like John Locke, Voltaire, Rousseau, Montesquieu, who believed in freedom, equality, and rights of the people. The next one was the Stamp Act. In 1765, the English Parliament passed the Stamp Act, which imposed stamp taxes on all business transactions. This act awakened violent resentment among colonists. The next was the slogan of no taxation without representation. They raised this slogan as the American thinkers like Thomas Jefferson asked people to rebel against the tyrannical rule of England. Then comes the Boston Tea Party. Anti-British protest could be seen all over, and the most prominent protest was the incident known as the Boston Tea Party. In 1773, a group of people raided British ships in the Boston harbor and threw 340 crates of tea into the sea. This was the protest against the new taxes which the British government had imposed upon the colonies, especially the tax imposed on tea. The 13 British colonies in America revolted against England. This is known in history as the American War of Independence. On 4th of July, 1776, representatives of the 13 colonies met at Philadelphia and adopted a Declaration of Independence in which they declared their right to independence. Thomas Jefferson, an American philosopher, was the author of the Declaration. The Declaration said that all men are born equal and are endowed with the absolute right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It also said that all people have a right to form their own government. Now, the Declaration of Independence led to a war between the colonies and the British government, and it led to the formation of Continental Army. Now, the Continental Army was a revolutionary army formed after the Declaration of Independence by the 13 colonies. The Continental Army was led by George Washington. It ended in 1783 with the colonies emerging victorious. In 1783, the British government and the colonies signed the Treaty of Paris, by which the British recognized the independence of the colonies. A new country named the United States of America was born. In 1787, a new constitution was framed at Philadelphia, and in 1789, George Washington became the first president of the United States of America. The American Revolution is an important landmark in the world history. It inspired the people of other colonies, including India, to overthrow their colonial masters and showed the path of democracy. The Americans celebrate the 4th of July as their Independence Day. The USA has a written constitution which makes the country a federal democratic republic. Next we come to the French Revolution, 1789 to 1795. After the American colonies became independent, there was a revolution in France in 1789. The French society at that time was divided into 3 distinct classes or estates. The first estate was made up of clergy. The second estate was made up of nobility, and the nobles were the absolute landlords there. The third estate consisted of the common people. They were the middle class members or the bourgeoisie, which includes the merchants, lawyers, teachers, doctors, etc., and the peasants and artisans. The first 2 estates enjoyed the luxuries and privileges, owned all the land between them, and paid no taxes. The third estate was heavily taxed and lived a life of hardship and misery. King Louis XVI was indifferent to the plight of the common people and lived a life of luxury himself. There were no checks on the absolute powers of the French rulers. The common people of France were inspired by revolutionary writings of famous French philosophers like Rousseau, Montesquieu, and Voltaire. They attacked the church and the nobility in their writing. Rousseau wrote that subjects have the right to overthrow a king who does not rule according to the general will. The philosophers propagated the ideas of liberty, fraternity, and equality. The French people were also inspired by the American War of Independence. It made them ready to fight for their rights and justice. The middle class had economic clout but did not have political rights or social mobility. They rebelled against the ancient regime. Wars waged by French rulers drained the resources of the empire. The wars impoverished the common man who had to pay more taxes. On July 14, 1789, the people of Paris stormed the prison of Bastille. They freed all the prisoners. Monarchy was overthrown. The incident became a symbol of victory of the French people, and 14th July is observed as a national holiday in France. King Louis XVI and his queen, Marie Antoinette, were first imprisoned, and later guillotined or put to death in 1793. With the death of Louis XVI and his queen, there was a lot of chaos everywhere. In the picture, you can see that King Louis XVI is killed and his queen is also put to death. During this period, a reign of terror began under a radical group known as the Jacobins, which lasted from 1793 to 1794. Thousands of nobles, clergy, and even innocent men were executed. Now, Jacobins were members of an influential political club during the French Revolution. They were the people who plotted the downfall of the king and the rise of French Republic. They were the Party of the Revolution, originally a club for the elite French. Initially, moderate reformers became violent to anyone who opposed them. They formed a committee of public safety. They included small shopkeepers, artisans such as shoemakers, pastry cooks, watchmakers, printers, as well as servants and daily wage workers. In 1795, the National Assembly of France adopted a Declaration of the Rights of Man, which declared that men are born free and equal. A constitution was framed, and France became a republic with liberty, equality, and fraternity as its guiding principles. Then we come to the results of the French Revolution. The first one, it introduced democratic ideas and ended the supreme rule of kings. Second, loss of property and lands. The nobles and the church lost their property and their lands were distributed to the peasants. Third one, slaves set free. Slaves in French colonies were set free. Fourth one, rise of democratic and social order. The watchwords of the French Revolution, such as liberty, equality, and fraternity, led to the rise of a new democratic and social order in Europe. Next one, awakening of national feelings. The most potent effect of the French Revolution was that it awakened national feelings. The common people were prepared to die for the sake of protecting the rights and the privileges they had got due to the revolution. And the last point, overthrowing oppressive governments. It also inspired other European people to overthrow their oppressive governments. Now, France was continuously engaged in war with other countries from 1792 to 1815. During the French Revolution, Napoleon Bonaparte rose through the rank of the military officer. Napoleon Bonaparte, born in 1769 on the island of Corsica, he was educated in French military schools. He was a radical Jacobin, meaning that he believed in the radical ideas of the French Revolution. The revolutionary government used Napoleon as his military expertise to battle the Austrians and other Europeans who were attacking France in order to end the revolution. Napoleon Bonaparte was ruthless, ambitious, who rose from army captain to ruler of France in a very short time. He took advantage of the turmoil of the French Revolution. Napoleon married Josephine, a widow of a noble and a mother of 3 children. Napoleon overthrew the Directorate in 1799 and formed a consulate in France consisting of 3 consuls from 1799 to 1801. He himself became the first consul and later consul for life in 1802. Napoleon defeated the Austrians in Italy, forced Russia to withdraw from France, and defeated Britain in 1802. He established numerous small republics in Italy, Germany, and Belgium. After these victories, He became the Emperor of France, and the Pope attended his coronation ceremony in 1804. He was at the height of his political and military glory between 1808 to 1810. He was exiled to St. Helena Island, where he died in 1821. With this, we come to an end of the second lesson. I hope you all have understood it well. I'll be sending you the question and answers. Kindly complete it in the register. So stay safe, stay healthy, and have a good day. Thank you.